Hello, thank you for joining us on CoreTV News Hour. I am Frank Omalapiani. Here are some of the reports we're filing at this time. President Muhammadu Buhari said Friday in Abuja that with the formation of a stronger regional coalition, Nigeria and neighboring countries now have an increased capacity to deal effectively with Boko Haram and other terrorist groups. Speaking at an audience with Mohammed Ibn Chambers, the United Nations Secretary General's Special Representatives and head of the United Nations Office for West Africa, Buhari reaffirmed his belief that the full activation and deployment of the multinational joint task force, which has been established under the auspices of the Lake Chad Basin Commission, will lead to the speedy defeat and elimination of Boko Haram. The president added that with the command and control center of Nigerian military now in Maiduguri, Borno State, the morale of troops in the frontline state had improved significantly. Against the background of upcoming elections in Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Burkina Faso, the president also called on the United Nations to assist African countries in the acquisition and use of innovative technologies to ensure more credible elections. And now the federal government is on the list of individuals and groups that have yet to redeem their pledge to the Victim Support Fund set up by the Jonathan administration. It is owing 5 billion naira, but President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to pay up. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on the Fund, Theophilus Danjuma, will disclose these to State House correspondents shortly after a closed section with the correspondent.
We were launched during the fundraising that took place a year ago. The total amount of money that was pledged by various contributors was slightly more than 50 billion naira. Of this amount, only 23 billion naira has so far been redeemed. So there's a lot of money out there still to be recovered. Of the organizations and individuals that have not fulfilled their pledge, the federal government is one. We are expecting 5 billion naira from federal government. And the president today promised to honor the pledge of the federal government. We will plead with them quietly, but we may also resort to naming and shaming those who have not honored their pledge.
And our spokesman, Major General Chris Olukolade, bows out of office after over 2 years as Director of Defense Information is to be replaced by Colonel Rabi Abubakar, who is to hold the office in acting capacity pending the appointment of a substantive defense spokesman. A military statement indicates that General Olukolade will be handing over to his successor next week. He was to have retired in November last year, but the military authorities asked him to stay until this year. And our former member of Adamawa State House of Assembly and a delegational constitutional conference, Misa Bobo, and a notorious drug baron, Bapa Madu of Ingurure town, have been sentenced to 7 years imprisonment each by Justice Balikusu Bello Aliyu of the Federal High Court sitting in Yola. They were both arrested by officials of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in connection with unlawful possession of illicit drug, which is in violation of Section 19 of the NDLA Act. The former legislator was convicted of illegal possession of 81.9 kilograms of cannabis sativa, while Bapa was found guilty of possessing 61.6 kilograms of tramadol. Justice Balkisu, in her judgment, described the involvement of the former legislator in drug trafficking as a big shame. And now the multinational Joint Task Force now has a new leader following the appointment of Major General Tukur Buratai as Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff. Major General Ilyasu Abba formally took over the leadership of the body at a brief ceremony at the Army headquarters. The new NJTF commander said the task of defeating Boko Haram is not insurmountable, but demands robust intelligence, logistic supply and administration to enable troops to round its insurgency in the sub-region. He argued that if the three basic requirements were met, he and his team had the capacity to defeat Boko Haram in the area. Buratai expressed confidence in the ability of Abba to lead the multinational Joint Task Force and noted that several international organizations have been making donations towards the operationalization of the task force. And now an end may have come to the Ebola epidemic that has raged in West Africa, killing thousands of people, with an Ebola latest vaccine which provided a blanket protection in a field trial in Guinea. The serum was 100% effective after a week in more than 7,600 people inoculated, according to results published in the Lancet, and hailed as extremely promising by World Health Organization Chief Margaret Chan. The world was on the verge of an effective Ebola vaccine, the UN's health agency said in a statement. Although encouraging the result are interim and the vaccines will not become immediately available, as a community-wide Ebola shooting sparked caution. About 28,000 people have been infected in Guinea, Sierra Leone and Liberia since late 2013, according to WHO. Nearly half have died, even as some believe some other cases were not accounted for. And now the wife of the immediate past governor of Lagos State, Abimbola Fashola, has called on youth to explore possible avenues that enable them contribute positively to the society. A correspondent, Abiola Oluwole, was at the workshop organized by the Nigerian Youth by the Leadership Empowerment and Resource Network, a non-governmental organization, the former First Lady. Report.
Finding a lasting solution to the rising unemployment rate in the country has become a mirage for government. The interactive session, according to Abimbola Fashola, is to engage youth on the need to explore creative ways that make them self-independent rather than seeking the proverbial white-collar job. Fashola also enjoined them to always contribute to the development of the society, irrespective of their social status.
Wherever you find yourself, you are the leader of that place. Try as much as possible to make it better than how you met it. And that's why I said I want to ignite something in them to show them that wherever you are in the world, you are a leader. You can always see something that is not going well or something that is going great and you want to contribute to your own quota. So it's not negative. It's positivity as well. You could contribute into it.
Speaking on the topics entrepreneurship and public speaking skills, a former commissioner for commerce in Lagos, Shola Uwuru, and public speaker Niyi Adesanya told participants that research, planning, and determination are key to achieving their vision in life.
You don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I don't have a job, so I'm just going to be an entrepreneur and that's it. You must have a certain mindset. You must be ready to take the risk. You must be able to, you must have a plan to say this is what I want to go for. And you must be totally committed to that purpose.
We've always had a challenge with our leaders not communicating with us. And that could basically mean that probably they don't know how to communicate with us. And then you see speeches of Western leaders who are doing very well with their speeches, and then you see our own people here who are not doing that fantastically well. Then you look at it, what's the difference? The difference is actually catch them young. They started from a young age, and then one of the benefits of this would be that everybody, whatever you are, any position you are, you will be able to communicate your ideas effectively to whoever you're leading or whoever you're following. And that's one of the best things that would benefit from this.
Participants speak on the benefit of the program.
government needs to come into this, find a way to blend what we have done today and scale it up so that more persons in the society can benefit from this. Very measurable if you measure the impact.
The Leadership Empowerment and Resource Network, LEARN, is a project of Abimbola Fashola, poised at mentoring secondary school students and young graduates in the society. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
It's still CoreTV News Hour. We'll take a break shortly. We'll be back with more stories. Join us again.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to your husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, another election is coming.
Because some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, we don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
You've been watching CoreTV News on the hour, live from our Lagos studios. For more information on the news and other programs, on facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming now, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And governors elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress have started strategizing ahead of governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa State later in the year. The governors held a meeting in Abuja, which ended in the early hours of Friday, and resolved to work for the success of the party's candidate in the two states. At least 14 APC governors attended the meeting at the Imo State Governor's Lodge in Abuja.
Gentlemen of the press, we met and we deliberated on a lot of issues. One is that we have resolved to strengthen our party, to prepare for the forthcoming elections, especially the one of Kogi and Bayelsa. We also are very happy with the developments in the National Assembly, as peace is gradually returning to the National Assembly. So we're very happy, and what has taken place in the Federal House will soon take place in the Senate. So we are very happy. I will resolve to support the party and make our party bigger and much bigger than it is now. And our doors are open to welcome interested parties to join us in building the Nigeria of our dream and aspirations.
And now the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit challenging the People's Democratic Party governorship primaries that produced the Cross River State Governor Ben Anyade. An aspirant in the PDP primaries, Joe Agi, had approached the court asking it to nullify the governorship election on the grounds that Anyade presented a false declaration of age certification to INEC. Delivering judgment on the suit, Justice Abdul Kafarati held that the plaintiff failed to furnish the court with enough documents to prove his allegation. It therefore dismissed the suit for lack of merit.
The judge has clearly shown to the public and to the world that this matter, the court has no jurisdiction, number one, that the matter is a pre-election matter and that is an internal affair of the party. So, number two, that the totality of the arguments that the plaintiff brought, was faulty and have no grounds, and that the court have judiciously dismissed the case.
The sitting governor did not pay his dues, membership dues to PDP. And as PDP, we came and said he paid to us, and we cleared him to contest the primary after being satisfied that he has paid all his dues and that he's an obedient member of the party who has complied with all the requirements. And we argue that in any event, the issue of payment of membership dues is internal to the party. The courts do not have jurisdiction to dabble into such affairs. So if the parties have said, fine, we are satisfied with what a candidate has done, and he has paid his dues to us, and we are okay, we want to allow him to contest the primary, that's fine now. It's not for the courts to dabble into such issues and start making findings.
The Court of Appeal has set aside the decision of the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal in Kogi State to strike out a case filed by Senator Smart Adeyemi of the People's Democratic Party against the election of Senator Dino Melaye of the All Progressives Congress. Delivering judgment in the appeal, Justice Muhammad Ndome held that the tribunal was wrong in striking out Adeyemi's petition on technicalities instead on substantial justice. Justice Adume also ordered that the matter be returned to the tribunal for retrial. The appellate court further said the tribunal's position that the petition was not filed within the time frame allowed by law was wrong.
The tribunal for expeditious disposal of the matter, and in a different panel, different from the one that considered the motion in the first place. The Court of Appeal found a lot of irregularity in the filing and service of the reply, which they earlier contended was served on the petitioner on the 13th day of May 2015, and affirmed that it was served on 14 May 2015 as the position of the petitioner at the lower court at the tribunal.
The crisis rocking the Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has taken a turn for the worse with the suspension of members of the Tunde Olatunde-led executives by the Dove Falaye faction. A correspondent Rashid filing this update from Ado-Ekiti.
State Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in Ado-Ekiti again came under tight security very early in the morning, catching many by surprise. Just before midday, the reasons for this became apparent, with the secretary of the Olatunde-led faction, Tope Aluko, crying out over what he described as an illegal act. He condemned the statement read on the state-owned media outfit.
For Comrade Valeye and the purported Jackson to now go on the air and start saying that they suspended 4 SWC members, I think that's a deliberate attempt to destroy the party. One, the suspension cannot be done outside NWC. The suspension cannot be done outside SEC. But I want to assume that that is still their faction talking.
But in a swift reaction, the Falaye-led faction says it has been recognized by the national leadership while spelling out disciplinary measures against the erring members.
Those people's petitions have been received by the party should be suspended pending the inauguration of disciplinary committee, and the motion was unanimously agreed.
While the Falaye-led faction says it enjoys the backing of the National Working Committee, Tope Aluko, another suspended official, says it's a figment of the imagination of the members of the Falaye-led faction.
Of Comrade Falaye and his faction to now go about saying that they have suspended half of SWC in Ekiti, then that means there's a problem. And it means there's a problem coming towards PDP. And we will not run away from it. We will not run away from it.
There is no any faction. The NWC deliberated on the state of the party in Ekiti State and resolved that it only recognizes the state ESCO led by Chief Idowu Faleye.
While this continues to play out, the level of tension rises by the day in the PDP in Ekiti State. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
An Lesusa bomber detonated explosive on Friday morning at the popular tricycle park of the Gamburu market in the northeast Nigerian city of Maiduguri. A vigilante and an eyewitness confirmed. The State Police Command has in a statement signed by the State Public Relations Officer Victor Isuke confirmed casualties occurred during the incident. A witness who declined to be named corroborated this account but did not mention a specific number of people who has been the casualties. The Gamburu market is the second largest in Maiduguri, capital of Borno State. And now the police authorities have ordered a clampdown on unregistered taxi cabs plying the roads of the Federal Capital Territory. Inspector General Police Solomon Arase said the directive would take effect in 2 weeks' time. He urged all taxi drivers within the capital city to register with the National Union of Road Transport Workers or risk being arrested by the police. Arase gave the warning when the leadership of the union paid him a courtesy call in Abuja.
There is a lot of cabo that have been plying the highways, and you will agree with me that when you have issues of insurgency that like we have in this country, it could be very, very dangerous. So there must be a way we should be able to, ascertain those vehicles that are properly registered, with your unions, either in the various local governments or something. You must be able to tell us either you paint them in a particular color, or you use stickers to identify them and register them. So that whenever we stop them and we are asking them questions, if they tell me that that vehicle belongs to the National Union of Road Transport Workers, for instance, in Buhari, I can pick up the phone and call the chairman or the secretary to confirm, is this driver, one of you from that particular area? So I will give the national chairman and the secretary, I will give you a grace of maybe about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we'll start clamping down on all vehicles that plies the highway in FCT without proper identification, because we will not allow the
Notable among such achievements include the recent order for the immediate dismantling of all roadblocks nationwide and their replacement with police patrol. Such roadblock, apart from serving as point of corruption and constructing public nuisance, has for a very long time remained a great cause for concern for the transportation business. We must therefore convey our profound gratitude and appreciation to you for addressing and containing this menace.
You're still watching the CoreTV News Hour. We'll take another break now. Be back shortly with stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And hundreds of mourners have attended the funeral of the 18-month-old Palestinian baby killed in an arson attack in the occupied West Bank, as Palestinian leaders condemn Israel's policy on settlement and view the attack as war crimes. Family members buried Ali Saad Dawashin on Friday afternoon as his 4-year-old brother and their parents, both in extremely critical condition for major burns, recover at an Israeli hospital. Several thousand people also took to the street in Duma village, the site of the attack, for the funeral of the baby whose body was wrapped in a Palestinian flag. Israeli troops shot and wounded one protester during clashes in the city of Hebron, the army said. Palestinian authorities, President Mahmoud Abbas said the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's settlement policy is to be blamed for the attacks in the West Bank. The Hamas government in Gaza has also condemned the latest incident and called for a day of fury in response to the relentless Zionist assault on Jerusalem and the murder of toddler Ali in Nablus. According to the UN, there have been at least 120 attacks by Israeli settlers since the beginning of 2015. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a rare telephone call to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas condemning the murder of the toddler and pledging a thorough investigation. You'll be watching CoreTV News Hour, and this is where we draw the curtain now. Join us top of the 4-hour headline news.